Oh my God. Hey everyone. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Hold on, wait a minute. Let me put some boom in it. Um, Hold on. Okay. Hey everyone. I'm on here and I'm doing a message that needs to kind of come out. So first of all, I'm gonna start with this story that an elder told me about. It was a long time ago. And welcome to Be So Light. My name is Felicia, also Priestess Makala, and Niana and Taino. Um, I don't have to name all those parts of myself, but just for vibrational functions. So I'm going to share something I saw that was really interesting. And I'm not sure how many of you remember, like, maybe I think it was in January or December. And I remember seeing a lot of light workers that were really up there. They have a lot of followers and melanated women that all of a sudden started shaving their hair off. Started shaving their hair. And then I started seeing it not going past some of the melanated women and going into other cultures where all of a sudden they just shave their hair off. Okay, I'm going to share with you what I was told. Now, I remember when my friend was Pam, bless her heart, she crossed over when she was diagnosed with breast cancer. And I remember I wanted to support her because, I'm a cancer survivor myself. But I've met with some higher beings that actually helped me with that healing process. And I remember with her, I shaved my head because she was going to go through chemo and supporting us. So that's something that a lot of us do as support. We'll shave our heads. And sometimes when loved ones in native traditions, when someone is passed away, you will cut your hair and showing that you had a family loss. Okay, here we go. Some light workers have been attacked vibrationally, um, frequency wise, especially if you're in the spotlight on YouTube and doing your teachings and you have a practice and your light is strong and you know the up and up and what's really going on this planet. Now, if you are a light worker that's watching the media news and believing everything you're told, you might want to step back from that. But if you are a light worker and you know the true story of what's going on, and you know what's happening on this planet, and you know why you're here, you are need to really take care of yourself right now. We are in the depths of spiritual warfare. Okay. And this is something I was told long time ago when I stepped onto my path and I was waking up. And I mean, this is over, I don't know, 30 years ago. Right now in California, before I go on, they are literally sucking every drop of moisture out of the air. I literally have to go through and spray in the air, spray water in the air to keep moisture in. Because if you don't get that moisture in here, it is literally sucking it out. It's sucking the moisture out. So I literally just mist in the air now because let it rain on me. There we go. Um, because it's just so static and the heat from the wind is hot and super dry. So you're probably experiencing a lot of dry sinuses, a lot of a lot of stuff going on. You probably feel a lot of irritation with your skin. You need to really stay moisturized right now. Water, 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 like crazy. That's what you need to be doing. So let me just go back to what I was saying. So do not cut or shave off your hair. I can understand if you're going through chemo right now, or you have an illness, or you might be experiencing alopecia, something of that. Hi, 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 welcome, welcome, welcome. But do not shave or cut your hair off. It is a vibration that comes out, and good deal, that's trying to get you to do that. Right now, the game is as much as possible. If you are really up there in the frequency, you are going to get attacked more so energetically, especially if you do not know how to protect yourself now. So protection is key. Do not believe any of these other light workers who are going around saying, oh, well, if you are not, if you got to protect yourself and stuff, then you're living in fear. Don't believe that crap. Okay. Don't listen to anyone's talking like that, because right now more than ever we have to shield up. We have to protect and guard our light. We have to take care of ourselves. Our hair, it doesn't matter what type of hair you have. Your hair is your connection to the divine, to the source. And even if you were someone that suffered with some type of alopecia or something like that that happened, you still have that spiritual connection with your hair. And even if you took certain wigs or something and dedicated that wig as an extension of yourself, it becomes that. So please, any of you that wake up in the flipping morning and all of a sudden you decide you're going to cut your hair off, you better think twice before you do it and find out, where's that energy coming from? Who sent that signal out? Why are you all of a sudden feeling like you need to do that? Okay? Don't be cutting your hair off. That's the number one rule. Now, it's the first thing I learned from my elder, who had told me when I cut mine off. He did it very, very, very kindly. We went into lodge, and I'm crawling in the lodge, and he sees me, and I was the first one crawling in the lodge, and he put his hand up like this to stop others from coming in, and he says, "Could you lower the door?" And so it was just me and him sitting in the lodge, and he says, "I want to talk to you about something. In the coming days, in the coming years, man is going to go through something on this planet. And it's going to be a lot of energy coming towards people, making them do things that they normally would never do." And he says, from this day forward, do not cut your hair. Don't cut it. You can trim it, but do not shave your hair off. Because the times that are coming, everyone needs to stay connected. So you can hear Creator, feel Creator talking to you. Okay. So that's the number one thing. Everyone, there was only one person that I saw talk about the June 6th of this month. And Mia talked about it. So thank you, Mia. Mia, the beautiful witch. She talked about it. She's the only one. Everybody else is avoiding it. Now, here's the thing. You can choose to talk about the good part about it, what it really means, like having the 6 electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons that makes up the human body. You can talk about that. You can talk about what the number 6 really means. Okay. And then when you add it all together, what does it come out to? A flipping 9. Okay. What are we ending? What is the cycle that we're really ending? What is that darkness within us that needs to come to an end, a pattern that needs to just stop, to just end within itself? So we need to understand at this point of the game, there is no excuse to be buying into the storyline of everything of an old story that was told to us about what the 666 is. Okay. You have to look at there's always a two-side, the positive and the negative of something. There's always a positive and negative. So you have to know what the positive is and what the negative is. And you cannot be standing in fear factor when that rolls around. Now, the fake ones, the fake people, I'll call them the fake people. I like using that word. The fake people, because when you're a fake person, you have no soul, you have no light. You're just walking around looking like Gumby. Hello, Gumby. So the fake Gumby people, I'm loving that. I think a lot of you are gonna get into that. Hey, seen those Gumby people lately? So the fake Gumby people are going to be running around doing all kind of craziness with that number. Okay. But it's also, if you understand alchemy and you understand what that number really represents, you can create a lot of positive change in your life and anchor in to the higher dimension of creativity with it. And you can use it for that. Okay. You can bring old patterns, old things that have been happening to you to an end. So do not cut your hair. Understand what 666 really means. Learn the alchemy of it. Okay. Look up stuff, do the research, and stay out of fear. As we are going into that active portal that's being creative right now, you want to make sure that you are protecting yourself right now. We are in the heart of spiritual warfare, if you haven't noticed yet. And a lot of people are just walking around being a Gumby, not paying attention that we're in this. We're in the heart of it. So a lot of light workers, you're going to be going through weird things. You have to guard up. You have to shield up. Shield up. This is not the time to not have your armor on. This is not the time to be drugged out, drinked out, numbed out, and leaving your temple. Okay? I don't care who's around doing what, when, where, and why. Don't be leaving your temple open right now because the hunt is on. You want to keep yourself in this temple and anointed with some very strong oils. Let me tell you something. These fake ones do not like high scented oils. And I'm talking about your natural oils. Patchouli is like my shield. And when I had a person have a a reaction with this patchouli. She became like almost violent, like I can't stand my color. I said, "Oh, well, you got something on you." So oil up with the patchouli. This goes good with your sage, your cedar wood, and rose. Anoint yourself in the morning, that crown, your heart, the back of your neck, your head, all down here, and all the way down through. Anoint. You need to stay anointed. You need to make sure you wear, if you're into your symbols, if you're into your crystals, this is not the time to be a lazy bee. This is not the time to be lazy in your spirituality. This is the time to have your medicine on. Okay. It's time to shine your light. It's time to be strong. It's time to stand in who you are in your sovereignty and stand in it. Period. Anything beyond that and you getting lazy in it, you leaving the door open. Don't be leaving that door open. Your house needs to be in order. Your windows need to be in order. It's time to shield up. Okay. And I'm not saying it to scare anybody or, oh, you're putting fear. No, I ain't putting no fear. I'm bringing the fucking warrior out of your ass. Excuse my French. It's time to get your warrior light on. Okay. We're in real times right now. So you are going to experience distractions. You're going to, you can use that. You're going to experience all of a sudden people that you haven't talked to in almost a year or whatever come up and they got all kind of stuff happening in their life, but they had plenty of time to take care of it, but they chose not to. And now they got reactions happening. You can choose to be a part of their drama, or you can choose not to. You can choose to transmute that energy so that it's not coming towards you. You don't need to get wrapped up in it. And I'm very loving and supportive of everyone going through transition as well as myself. But at the same time, you have to have wisdom and awareness of what's coming at you. Okay. And knowing how you're going to delegate that energy out and how you're going to neutralize it, how you're going to deactivate it, and how you're going to say, nope, ball of light. Next. I'm not in the mood. I'm very lethal right now. And after what I saw, my heart goes out to lucid living, lucid dreaming, excuse me. Lucid living. I think it's lucid living. I've been watching her go through some major transformational things. And I've been where she is. And it's something about when energy is messing with you and people are energetically, things are coming at you and you're feeling like you can't get going, you can't get yourself moving. This is that time when you have to cloak and move. You have to be on that new organic timeline. This is not the time to be in the organic world, in the AI world, and all that stuff. You can't be in that right now. You know, we go in, take care of what we got to take care of, come the hell out of that. Always maintain yourself on that higher frequency. But you're being present in your temple in the moment. Okay. If you're still dancing around with the Ichabod cranes in your life and they are not bringing nothing to the table and you're still trying to wait and see how it's all going to turn out, how long has that been now? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. It's time to shield up. And believe me, the ones closest to you, if they are starting to show some weirdness, you might want to guard up against it. I'm just saying. Just saying. Got ink stuff all on my hands. Just saying. Time to shield up. Time to how Yukwala said it when I met Yukwala. He said, always have your medicine ready, always be ready and stand in your medicine of who you are. This is not where you are a medicine person for a few hours. No, you're a medicine person every hour, 24 hours a day. That's who and what you walk as. your true divinity self. Okay. Next message that was coming in is please, 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 we have to keep an eye on our young ones. Okay. Pay attention to if they're getting enough rest, if they're getting enough water, if they're eating okay, or if they start slipping out. Okay. If they're getting tied into the electronics, the TV, the playing the Nintendo game, and you take them away from it, and all of a sudden they go berserky, they are getting coated with all that energy. You have to take them out of that. They got to go through a spiritual electronic detox, and it sucks. That means you got to pull it. You got to take it all away, and they got to go through a detox because they got encoded with so much heavy electronic stuff that comes through the TV. So please, please, please protect your children, especially anyone born between 2000 on up. You have to protect them. And then 2007, the golden ones that are coming in, you got to protect them. Okay. So the next thing, and this is a trip. So I'm kind of sitting on my ball and doing my little meditation, and I was just like in this space, this beautiful space. I was looking at the trees, and I was just kind of really connecting. And I just slipped into this space, and I found myself like in a baby ward. And I saw all these babies, beautiful babies. And I was like, where am I? It was real quick. And I said, baby ward. I said, okay. And I heard very clearly, everyone needs to watch over their babies and protect them at no matter what. And then I saw it went shroom, and I said, what is this? I said, a lot of people start having babies and don't let anybody know they had their babies. I said, did you know? And this is what kind of got me. There was somebody on YouTube, I can't even remember the name of what it was, but it was talking about the history of all of the presidents, that they were all related. All 45 of them related to each other. I'm getting to my point about babies. So, did you know a lot of them had babies with other women and things, and they are not recorded with a birth certificate? Ask why. Ask yourself why. Why? Why? Why were they not recorded? Because if you're not recorded on a birth certificate, nobody knows that you really exist yet, and still you can still function outside of everything and never be a part of the inside circle. Hmm. I know, sounds crazy, huh? Right about now, everything that's happening is crazy on this planet. That makes no sense at all why it's all happening. But it has a higher agenda to it. Once you figure it out, once you pay attention to it, and you see it for what it is. Hmm. And pay attention to that. So I'm going to share a story, and I strongly believe this happened to my friend. So back in her early years, and there's a reason why I'm sharing this story, because those of you that do follow me and know me, you know when I start speaking truth like this, you know you got to pay attention, heads up, because I know some of you are carrying some beautiful babies right now. And you might want to raise up and listen to what I'm about to say and take the necessary things that you got to do. Okay. So anyway, my friend when she was younger, she had gotten pregnant, and her mom didn't want her to try to raise that baby on her own. So she was supposed to give the baby up for adoption. But she ended up going through the whole process and she had the baby. And she said when she was in the process of having her baby, she didn't want to give that baby up for adoption. She was changing her mind. A mother has a right to change her mind up to the last second. I know this because I worked in labor and delivery. Okay. So postpartum, when they change their mind, they have every right to say, I've changed my mind, I'm gonna keep the baby. Okay. So she had already started saying she's changing her mind. She wanted to keep her baby. Okay. She goes in, she has the baby. They take the baby out and they're going to clean it up. They come back and tell her that her baby died. That it was a stillborn. It just stopped breathing. And she asked, "Well, can I see my baby?" And they said, "No, we're not going to let you go through all that trauma. It's best that you not see it." So back in that time, she just took it as it was and she grieved the loss of her baby. But something inside of her kept bothering her, kept telling her that her baby was still alive. And still to this day, she feels like she still has a child out there that doesn't know that she exists and she still feels that. Okay. So, everyone, you need to be aware that some things are crazy. Like, remember back in the day, you always would hear about some crazy person went into the baby ward and took a baby out and da 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 da. And, and then all these stories of people who they end up getting taken, they grew up with somebody else, and then they were twins, separated. One went somewhere and the other one went another place, or maybe one twin, and they come and tell you, oh, well, something happened. Don't believe it. Protect the children at all costs. That's what Spirit says, at all costs. So that means if you're like not going to go into these institution places and do the routine thing like how things used to be done all the time, you go in and have the baby and do all this stuff, da 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 da. Shit, back in the day, there were no hospitals. Back in the day, in our tribes, and still now, when it's time to have the baby, the women came around and helped the woman have the baby, and they did the bonding and everything. There was no such thing as a hospital, going to a hospital. You have your baby, boom, boom, boom. Oh, I gotta finish still harvesting the rice. I just gotta still finish picking rice. Women knew, and they were so connected with their bodies to know this. And as time has gone and all the Gumbies in the world have been messing around with us, we lost that knowingness. But it's coming back in a big way. It's gonna be like a flash of light that comes up and gets rid of the Gumby people, the Gumbies, the Gumbies. So this is the message that was coming through because I am seeing some things and I'm like, whoa, what's happening with you? Whoa, what happened now? And whoa, why did that happen? Oh wow, whoa, uh-uh. And you start feeling like all of a sudden like you need to off yourself, take yourself out of the world. Get in water, salt water immediately, and start cleansing and smudge yourself like crazy and wrap your head up. Wrap it up. Wrap the head because it's a target. Shoo! Oh, I don't feel right. That goes for everybody. Right now, at what we're going through, your head should be anointed. You should be wrapped. And you should shield yourself up, knowing that your light, your expansion of love light all the way around you. You should be that. And calling in all of your divine ones and standing really strong in your light. And knowing that it is shielding you. No doubt. This is not a time to be doubting the self. This is not time to be doubting. So I've delivered this message. Protect the children. Protect them. Make sure they're safe. Protect them. And as well as protect yourself. Protect yourself and make sure you're taking care of yourself. Now, all light workers in California, y'all need to wake up and stay awake. Get strong in your light. Because they are extracting moisture out of the air like crazy. These clouds that's sitting up there, all they're doing is holding the heat like a pressure cooker on us. You're going to see within the next few days, coming days, leading up to the energy of the portal of that 666 energy that can be used for good or bad. But you're going to see a lot more craziness. It's also a marker for where it's going to be calibrating us to go through more craziness. That shouldn't even be happening. So it's really important now to know what timeline you're on. It's really important now to make sure you stay your sovereignty being, not consenting to any of the crazy artificialness stuff going on around you. And anybody that's getting triggered big time. It's kind of like that movie Cellular. How they got on their phone, they got turned on, cell rattled, a frequency. It's really sad that a lot of movies that were made had a lot of information, have a lot of information in it about where we are right now. But we were too busy eating our popcorn, drinking our sodas, and eating our chocolate, and too busy in the special effects of it to really see the hidden meaning of what was being told to us. And now here we sit in the now moment, being a total recall, being a sixth day, being a Constantine. We sit here now. And total recall is happening right now. And we actually have predator and a xenomorph happening. I've talked about this before. The xenomorph. Right here. It's happening. So I deliver this message, and I hope those of you that see this video, you will understand what I'm talking about. Okay. This is time to be strong in your life and do not cut your hair. Don't. Don't do it. You start feeling like that, you call up a friend immediately and tell them, I have another friend of mine. She got hair all the way down past her butt. I said, I better not wake up and find out you didn't cut your hair off because I will come over there with the quickness. And I have no problem using some super glue to get that hair back on you. Serious. So, in all seriousness, oil up, make sure your home is good, and don't consent to the energy. I don't consent to all this craziness. I don't give you permission to invade my space. I'm not giving you permission. It's just like on that movie, what was that? Fright Night. Fright Night with Colin Farrell. I like him. He's kind of bad sexy. He's kind of bad sexy. Yeah. He's got that Irish look and that, yeah, he's kind of bad sexy. So when he moves in the neighborhood and the young boy, the nerdy kid, um, is spying on him, finds out he's a vampire. But he's trying to tell his friend, Charlie, he's a vampire, he's a vampire. And Charlie's like, oh, stop it, stop it, stop it. If you've never seen that movie, Fright Night, it's good to watch because it's funny. It's funny as hell. And say, oh, stop it, stop it, stop it. Oh, well, meet me at the house where what you facing them used to live, and how come they're not there no more? Meet me there. So Charlie was late getting there, and he didn't meet his friend there at the house. And what happened? Um, we'll just say Collins was following the nerdy guy because he knew if he didn't get rid of the nerdy guy, he was going to expose what he really was because he moved into the neighborhood. Okay, there's a reason why I'm telling you this story. So he chases the nerdy guy, and then he goes out the window, and the nerdy guy drops down on the back patio, and Colin's already sitting in the little patio chair. Drops and he twists his ankle, and he goes, "Oh, that looked like that hurt." And he falls. Ah! He falls into the swimming pool. And then in the swimming pool, Colin gets in there, and he says, "You know, you want this," and he transforms the nerdy kid. So he's now working for him. So as the story goes on, Charlie finally figures out his nerdy friend is missing, and he starts snooping around. He's trying to figure out what happened to him. But he finds the laptop that has all the videos on where he was spying on Collins and how he was, saying, "Look, look, look, he has no reflection. Look, 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 he's so, this man is caught. This is, he's telling him." So then he closes the laptop and he's like, oh. So Collins, paying attention, he gets one of Charlie's friends, young girlfriend, who was a friend of the girlfriend that he's dating. She comes up missing, but she goes over to the house. So he goes in and tries to rescue her. Comes out, she blows up in the sun because she got contaminated, bit by Colin. And so Colin figures out Charlie knows the secret. So now he's like, I got to get rid of mom now. I got to get rid of Charlie because they can expose me. So he makes this thing, and this is the part you want to pay attention to. He makes this thing where he goes over and says, yeah, I got somebody coming over, for a party tonight. You got any beer you can set me up with? And so Charlie goes in the house. Colin follows him around. And Charlie is aware that he can't enter his house unless he gives him permission to enter. Most vampire stories are like that. They can't enter unless you give them permission, unless you give them consent. So Charlie accidentally drops a beer on the floor and it breaks. And so he's like, "Oh, do you need help with that? Do you need me to come in and help you with it?" Charlie's like, "No, no, no. Just stay there. I got this. I got this." He goes, "You sure about that?" He goes, "Yeah." So Charlie grabs the six pack with the handle, and there's only 5 beers in there. He goes, "Here you go." And so Colin reaches for it. He brings it back like this to see if his hand will come through the door, and he stops like this. And he goes like this again. He brings it, and then he goes like this, and he's seeing he can't do it. And so Collins figures it out, and then he goes, "Here you go." And he lets it get the beer, and he goes, "Yeah." And he starts making like derogatory stuff about his mom and his girlfriend, trying to edge him on, but he can't cross that threshold because he wasn't given permission. And that is how a lot of things happen in this universe. There's a spiritual law that these lower entities, unless they have permission, they cannot enter your temple. They cannot be, they can influence from the outside. They can just do all this stuff in your work field. They can do all that, but they cannot enter you unless you give them permission. And a lot of people don't realize that they've given their permission. A lot of people don't realize that. Okay. So you have to like say no, and you're not consenting to it. You're not giving permission for the vampire to enter into your home. And Charlie didn't give him permission, but Collins was very engineering because he got ticked off and he needed to get Charlie out of that house along with his mom and the girlfriend. So he decides to go out in the backyard and dig up the hole and pull the gas main and then blow a fire into it and blew up the house. And he said, "No house, no permission." I was like, "What?" Don't need permission if there's no house. I was like, "Oh my God." So it's a good movie, but it has alchemy in it. A lot of our movies have alchemy in it, and a lot of them have a lot of signals and symbols and stuff in there. If you don't know what you're looking at, you're just looking at it for all the other stuff. That's fine, enjoy it, but know what the true message is that's being given. Because right now we are in total recall. Right now we are having the 6th day. Okay. Right now we are dealing with um there's another movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's playing this cop, and this um, antichrist being is jumping from person to person, kind of like oh, what's that other one? There was another one where he was jumping from person to person, and that's how a lot of these um, entity beings do. They jump from person to person, and they're trying to find the right frequency match. They have to match with someone that's in fear, that's in anger, doesn't love themselves, um, guilt, shame, drug induced, self abuse. They have to jump into people like that, you know, because that matches their frequency, and they're easy to take because they're not aware that they don't have to invite them into the temple. They're not aware to say, "No, I'm sorry, you don't have the right to come into the temple. I'm sorry. You shall not pass." So I share this because Spirit was really sending that message out, and I started seeing it, and I was like, damn, what the hell's going on? So forgive the French for earlier, um, but sometimes I have to be very descriptive to get that snap into you looking. But check out that movie, Fright Night, and it's with Colin Farrell's, and crazy as hell. But there's alchemy in that. There's a lot of alchemy in that. I think that movie. Can't remember that other Schwarzenegger movie. Hold on a second. I gotta know now because I want to make sure so you can watch it. You might be able to get it on here for free. I'm not sure. Um, Hold on, I'm gonna bring it up. Okay, so he's got Total Recall, Sixth Day. It's amazing. He was in the movie Predator, Running Man. There's another one he played where he was this cop, and I'll never forget. He made the his milkshake in the morning was so nasty. He picked up pizza off the floor and put it in the blender and blended it up, and added a banana to it, and then looked at his cop friend and said, "You want some?" He goes, "Oh no, man, I'm good." Good. I'm looking to see what that movie was. Um, I cannot. End of Days. There it is. End of Days. You want to check that out. End of Days. End of Days is a good one because he gave up hope of everything because his daughter and his wife were murdered. Somebody that he had found out, and he was undercover cop, and they found out where he lived, and they took his family out. But he loses his faith, and in his journey, he meets this girl, and he has to protect her. So when he goes in to try to protect her, he meets this this thing that's going around looking like it's a male, like looking like it's human, and it's not. And the first person that this thing jumps into is a priest. And so it's a good movie. It's called End of Days. End of Days, Total Recall, and Sixth Day, totally loaded up with info. So I'm going to wrap this up now. I just wanted to hop on here and give you this info and have you understand the importance of making sure if you need to go quiet for a little bit, go quiet. Everybody in the mom don't need to know what you're doing. Understand? Sometimes quiet is good. You just move about the cabin. All right, lovelies. Be good to yourself. Keep your light strong. This is Be So Light. And go watch some movies. Take your notes. Pay attention. And that's a wrap. In 4, 3, 2, 1.